Stand and recite the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, the republic for which it stands, one nation, God, indivisible, with liberty. Let's pray. Bless this meeting today, all those present, as well as the lives of those we will encounter afterward. Ready us to make every moment count. Brief moment for your attention. Motion to approve the agenda.
Oh, I gotta take this call.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve the agenda. Any discussion to that motion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Opportunity for public comment. Anybody from the public wishes to come forward and speak? Now is the time to do so. Seeing nobody come forward, we'll get on to facilities.
Good morning, Commission. Ben Petracco, Meade County Facilities Director here with a short report on some of our August workload. I don't have a whole lot to report other than what the KPI report shows. We were down a little bit lower on work orders this month. A lot of just kind of routine HVAC type stuff mostly. On the courthouse roof project, we're getting really close to getting that wrapped up. And we need to get the final inspection done. They'll do a seam inspection this week up there. And so I'm holding off doing any of the permanent conduit runs and wire for the lighting until that's done, just in case. I wouldn't want to put it all in and have to move something if they got to replace something. So I'm waiting on that, but I'm confident that that'll be done this week, and then we'll be on to the next one, which is the Law Center. I don't have an exact schedule on when they're going to start that yet. They haven't reached out. I'm assuming in the next couple weeks, though. I think they were kind of waiting for the other guys to get done so that we weren't overlapping.
There was no hidden issues in the courthouse.
No, there was a little bit of insulation that they ended up having to replace once they got it exposed that was kind of rotten. But other than that, it went pretty good, yeah. Nothing major, really. Another project that we recently completed was the rewiring of all the TV locations in the jail and law enforcement center. Midco is doing away with their old coaxial cable boxes. And so what that meant is we had to pull Cat 6 and rewire every location for the new stuff. It wasn't too bad. We ended up running everything up into the attic, and we have a switch rack up there that has some of our equipment in it already, and we're going to add their modem and stuff up there. They were able to get a hold of or we're going to intercept one of the coax lines to feed their modem up there. So, but we got it all pre-done, so when they come tomorrow, actually, it'll all just be unplug the old box, plug the new one in. There won't be a lot of downtime on any of the TVs, and I know that's kind of a big deal in the jail. So that should be good to go. Other than that, we've just mostly been working on our routine maintenance projects. We're going to start getting our generator service stuff put together to do all the annual services on the gen sets. And then start getting ready for fall. It's just around the corner, so a lot of outdoor work to get done. The only other thing I got to note is I've emailed a few of you about it already. I don't know if you're all aware, but the siren pole at the Law Center has rotted to the point where it's got to come down. Black Hills Energy was out doing pole checks, and they did their hammer test on it or whatever, and it's pretty bad. So I'm trying to put together some kind of a plan to get it demoed down effectively and safely. It's going to happen within the next couple weeks. I got a couple different options, but I'm just trying to figure out what's going to be the best way to do it. That siren's one of the really old ones that, we wouldn't put it back up that way. If we do want to get another siren, it would have to be the newer style. I'm getting a price quote put together for that if that's something you guys would like to see reinstalled in the future.
What does it serve?
It's severe weather siren. It's the one right here, on the Law Center. They don't blow it for noon whistles or anything like that anymore. It's just like the other ones throughout the county. It goes off when they go off.
So this goes along. I mean, we really haven't made a decision on sirens, we have a discussion needs to be had on all sirens.
Right.
So, in my opinion, that just as well be included in that,
Yep.
and maybe make a plan going forward.
Yep.
I know some people like them, some people don't. So I think, just need to figure out a plan for sirens in general, in my opinion.
Right. Yeah, I know that's on the discussion for the budget. I got that quote put together for all the maintenance that needs upgraded on the other ones, and I'll add this quote in to that as well.
That's what I would say should be done with it.
Either way, you're taking it down because it's going to.
Yeah, it's got to come down. It's not safe anymore.
So I guess, and then we'll figure out what we need to do as far as getting something put back up.
Right. That's kind of, I guess, all I got to report at this time. If you guys have any other questions at all.
Questions for Mr. Petracco? Hey, thanks, Ben. I just want to note I should have done this at the beginning of the meeting. Go ahead, Ben. We're meeting today on this first Tuesday of the month versus our typical second Tuesday of the month. State statute mandates the county commissions meet on this first Tuesday to look at their budget. So we decided at the beginning of the year when we set our schedule to just have a regular meeting today versus meeting today and then the next week. So I just want to make note of that before we go further. If there's confusion why we're meeting today. Human resources.
Yes, thank goodness. Good morning, Commissioners. Deborah Branzard, Meade County Human Resource Director. I published the report that reflects our August activity. I think we had a pretty successful August. We do have a couple new openings that we have posted for planning building inspector that came open in August. And the only other thing I want to share with you is that on the workers' comp, the August numbers are not in yet, but I did receive the July 31st numbers, so they are added in here for the workers' comp update. And then the only other thing I want to say is we've been working on versions of our labor budget for 2026 and hoping that we have something soon that can be presented.
Oh, good. Any questions for Ms. Branzard? Thank you.
Okay.
Sheriff West, do you have anything to report? You're not on here, but okay, good. Auditor.
Good morning, Rhea Crane, Meade County Auditor, and you will find the expense report and the revenue report through the month of July in board docs.
Is this just a clarification? Is this the same as we got within our budget packets that we received last?
It is not. There's approximately, 3,000, whatever our claims are today, which I will look real quick. The claims that you will approve today are not included in this report. Actually, in your book, they are not included. Because
they're not included in our budget packet.
Right.
Okay, so this is the same report, though, as what we have.
This is the actual report with all expenditures through the month of July.
The wages and everything will be different, so it's going to be tough to cross-reference this report with the report that we had in our budget packet.
Correct.
I just want to make that clarification in case we're doing so. That's be the reason that budget numbers, these numbers would be different. Okay. Any other questions for the auditor? All right, let's move down to commission. Just an update from Sturgis Area Arts Council. Questions, comments on that? Let's move down to consent calendar. Hang on, consent calendar. Motion, any action on the consent calendar?
Make a motion to approve the consent calendar.
Motion is second to approve the consent calendar. Discussion to that motion. Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. It's been posted that we go over the budget at 10 o'clock, so therefore we're going to have to wait at least till then to do that. Do I get a motion to go into exec? I believe there'd be personnel, contractual, possibly legal.
I'll make a motion to go to exec for personnel, contractual, and legal.
Motion is second on the floor to go into exec for personnel, contractual, and legal. Discussion to that motion. Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We are now in executive session. gonna call us back to order. Let's call us back to order. Brings us to item F on the agenda, which is the budget hearing. I don't know how much the commission wishes to speak about the budget today. I see there's a couple people in the audience. If there's anyone open up to public comment at this moment, since it's a hearing. Anybody from the public wish to come forward and speak? Seeing nobody from the public wishing to come forward from the speak, I'll just ask, Mr. Huntington, do you have anything in particular you'd like to address with this? If you'd come forward, sir. I'll close public testimony and we'll go on to items from department heads.
No, I just wanted to make myself available in case there were any questions. We'd been throwing some report stuff back and forth. We had a conversation a couple months ago. I shared the report with you guys. We put together, you know, what it looked like a year ago, what it looked like today, that kind of a thing. We recognized that there were some errors on the report. Nothing, anything that was, you know, catastrophic or made a big deal of any of that. So, no, just simply, I knew you guys were doing budget. In case there were any questions, I wanted to be available instead of, you didn't even show up. So,
okay, well, we appreciate you being here.
Absolutely.
I anticipate there being a lot more conversation next meeting, which is on the 23rd. So,
gotcha.
Does anyone have any questions for Mr. Huntington?
Yeah, I do.
Here?
And it's unrelated to your actual thing, but on average, how much per hour does the Department of Health pay their RNs?
Well, for a nurse too, you know, taking into consideration, so their hourly wage is around $38 an hour. But then you add benefits, you know, you guys are privy to what it's costing for each of your employees for administrative costs and a telephone and a computer and the whole thing. We're well over $100 an hour.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Benefits, the benefit package, all of that.
Okay.
And within that, I did receive your email. Within that, you shared with us what some of the various counties do as far as compensation for you guys as well, didn't you?
Yeah,
that question was asked at the last meeting when you were here.
Yeah, we have a variety of different, you know, agreements, contractual, cooperative agreements. Anything from just money to just space to money, space, and clerical support, a variety of different things, just depending on how it's been. And I wish I could give you a great answer
you're fine.
as to
why. You included a lot of that in the email, if I remember
absolutely.
right. It's been a while since I read that email. But,
right. Yeah.
And I do appreciate you getting there. Is there any more questions for Mr. Huntington while he's here? Okay, well, thanks for coming. Like I said, we'll take a look at the budget a little more closer probably next meeting, which is on the 23rd.
All right, thanks.
Appreciate you being here. Sheriff West, I see you've been waiting patiently. Do you have anything to address the commission on? Okay. Is there any questions for Sheriff West since he's here? Appreciate you being here.
I do have a...
Okay, Sheriff West, you come forward, please.
On the jail equipment, I think our equipment cost went up. Oh, and I wasn't here during the July meetings, so forgive me for not knowing what that was for.
Jail machinery and equipment, is that what you're talking about?
It went up, I think.
I have it going down, I'm not sure. I think the budget for 24 was 5,000.
What page are you on, Mr. Liggett?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep. It did go down. Just making sure that that's supposed to go down or not.
Yes.
Machine equipment, or which one are you on?
Yeah.
The last line, so 434,000.
I believe what Captain Deo had told me was that he's just basing that off of the 3-year average on what it's kind of unexpected. Some of that machine equipment, if we have a breakdown of a dryer or anything major, that could change. But
so under the share, and sorry, I'm going to bounce her around. Under the sheriff budget, under the blood alcohol, that one, we've only spent $6,000 this year out of the 27,000, and that's way down from previous. Why is that?
We put that in the jail contract,
Is that
ambulance
why?
contract.
That's put in there.
Yeah, that was based on, that has to do with autopsies,
Okay.
as far as the coroner stuff, so that could fluctuate. There may be room to wiggle with that for 26. So,
Okay.
Yep.
Uniforms and equipment. We are over budget currently, and we have less budget identified for next year.
Yes, so we are full staffed.
Okay.
Obviously, that could change, but a lot of our equipment that was purchased was for new employees.
And then, sorry, you added that line item as well. Sorry, I don't want to interrupt.
What's that?
You also added a line item.
Yes, yeah, we wanted to separate.
That's what she's looking at. The line item right below that. Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt you,
Yep.
Sheriff West.
You've got sheriff's uniforms, and then you've got sheriff's equipment. So the equipment would be vests, it would be uniforms, it would be any type of stuff that they would need personally. And then on the equipment side. So we're trying to base it on what the union agreement says on what they're going to get, like $750 per deputy.
Gotcha.
So that's where that comes from. And I wanted that separated so I could see what we were spending.
On subscriptions, we're over budget on subscriptions. That seems like it changed last couple of years. So not sure.
Yeah, a lot of that would be LexisNexis. It would be a lot of our background stuff that we do for civil, as well as background on, was there LexisNexis, and there's a couple other that we use commonly every day. So
just the combination of all of the other subscriptions going up, that keeps.
Yeah, just gradually going up. And
so with that said, should that, is there going to be any more that comes into that this year? Sheriff West?
where are we setting that?
8,000, little over 8,000, 8,061.
I don't believe so.
So those are all paid.
Yeah, I believe that we are good there, but again, I'd have to check and see.
So just going off of what we paid last year, which is about 9,000, we should possibly up that another $1,000.
That's what my, I guess.
Yeah, potentially.
Okay.
Yes,
That's
just to try to stay even.
Okay. Would you make note of that line item? And this doesn't necessarily need a formal vote because we're not voted. The final budget is what will need the formal vote. Under sheriff subscriptions, 426,050. We should probably move that to $8,000. Is that what you suggest, Mr. Liggett?
Yeah, I mean, if it's a subscription cost that we have in play, then that's what should be there if we're going to spend the money.
And it looks like it's
That's
more
correct.
in line.
It's annual monthly billing is what that is.
Only other one I have is overtime questions. I don't know if you want to cover anything on sheriff overtime today or not.
We sure can.
So my concern, Pat, is we've had a tremendous amount of overtime, and I think you're going to be over your budget for the year on sheriff wages, just based on overtime. So I'm going to caution you on that because you have a budget of 25 budget of 2.3 million, but that's your budget, so I don't know how we go over that. We'll have to have a hearing, I suppose, and I mean, if you're full staffed, I don't know why we're still having so much overtime.
Sure, I can look into that and get you a detailed report, see what's going on.
I mean, we're on a tight budget. You know, you've been through the hearings so far, so I don't know what we do if we can't stay in budget. I think that probably goes for basically all of everything underneath you, I think, is right now.
Okay, is there anything else for Sheriff West?
I have a JDC question. I don't know whether is that probably under you, I'm assuming.
Yes.
Could that be about a $210,000 budget? I'm not as familiar with the JDC side as.
Yeah, you know, when we looked at this, the problem with JDC is it's hard to, it goes way up and then it goes way down.
Yeah.
So you kind of got to pick a number somewhere that you think is reasonable, and that's basically where this number came from, wasn't it, Sheriff West? I know
that's correct. It just depends on who we are incarcerating and how long they're there. So that could fluctuate quite a bit.
So yeah, we're going to more than likely go over it. We're at 141,590 currently with our 25 activity, and we budgeted 130. Yeah, budgeted 135.
And keep in mind, we have a cost share with Pennington County that we're getting money back on that as well.
Yeah, but but this is the actual cost. We would have budgeted the revenue somewhere else.
That's correct.
So, and then 24, we budgeted 137, but the activities was 101. So it's a tough one to track. So I mean, you could add, you could subtract, but it's.
You're comfortable with? I mean, I guess.
I guess historically, when we went over these numbers the first time, I can't tell you what they are off the top of my head, but we went back to 23 and 22, maybe even 21. I know I looked at them with the auditor's office as well. So I think these numbers are in line with what they've been doing. I'm not going to say it's not going to come in at 200,000 next year.
Sure. Yeah.
But what do you do to predict that? It looks like it probably will this year.
We're just on track this year,
Yeah.
so I was like, that was one that stuck out to me.
So you can always budget more. You can always budget. What do you can budget less?
I'm fine with where we're at. I was just asking the questions.
Until historically, it looks like that needle starts to move. I don't think it necessarily has yet. Would you agree with that, Sheriff West? I think it's that 135 seems to be kind of an average number throughout.
Consistent, yeah, that's correct.
All right, I'm good with it then. I think that's all my questions for you.
And I'll go over that information you sent. Naturally, haven't had a chance to review it.
Correct. Yeah, I'm sure that may generate some more questions, but tried to answer the best I could.
Yeah, and the big end on there's the jail contract and the ambulance contract. We haven't just had time to necessarily work on that yet, so it's going to be a big one.
Yeah, I just want to make sure we had options. So.
Yep. Thanks, we just got that email. So any other questions for Sheriff West?
That's why I asked Wade what he was paying.
Thank you, Sheriff West. Anything the commission would like to go over with this budget? I want to say this will be my third budget going through, and kudos to everyone because we knocked a lot out at provisional budget. We're sitting a lot better. We don't have near as much work to do this September as we did last. There's no doubt about that. We did quite a bit during provisional time, so it should make the auditor's life a little easier.
Gonna have to work on that then. So one point I'm just gonna raise, I've been working with planning to bring our fees and costs in line a little bit more with the actual costs that are being driven by platting and some of these higher density subdivisions. We're probably going to have a resolution that we're going to propose by the 23rd, which will impact some of the means of finance next year. I'm assuming all the planning fees are under licenses and permits. Is that where that's? Yeah, so but it could be probably a good, probably 10% increase amount just coming out of planning. We have to sort through some of these things where we have people coming in and kind of trying to slap together a water system where it's driving a lot of cost for planning, looking at it to make sure the water system can actually provide for the subdivision long term. And so we're trying to make sure that the cost causers are aligned with how we're doing for platting and planning.
I agree. I think that the revenue that we're producing isn't covering the costs that we have.
So we could anticipate resolution or some changes possibly.
Yeah, I
soon.
think we'll probably have a proposed resolution under the ordinances. What we've done is reserve that we can change those charges by resolution, so we don't have to amend the ordinance every time. So what we are looking at, what the planning department and I have been talking about, trying to get a resolution or maybe yet even this month, so at least that idea of those revenues can be a little bit aware of where, like I said, it's a drop in the bucket, but it's out there.
Something. Anything else? I guess wages is probably the biggest thing on a lot of people's mind, and I know HR department has had a commissioner that's been bugging them, and she has been working. I don't know if she's got any fingers left. She's been typing so much, but she is working over there, and we will, no doubt, have a proposal by next time. I want to mention in our budget outside agency funding requests. This is something I've looked at for quite some time. I don't have anything ready to propose, but I will by next time. I think it becomes somewhat irresponsible when we're this is kind of the I don't know how to say it, because they're all good programs, but in looking at how our budget continually gets tougher and tougher and tougher, we haven't been balanced since I've been on the commission. I think it's going to be, that is one place I think we need to start looking at maybe not cutting them, but at the same time possibly start to throw less into that pot. That's just my opinion. I don't know if anyone else shares that opinion or not, but I'm going to take a look at that this year, and possibly some of these won't be getting. I'm going to propose a little less from what they got last year. So we've got there's plenty on there. It seems like we get more requests all the time. I think thanks to COVID, it seems like people have assumed the role of government is to hand funds out, and that's not necessarily my core belief.
I guess I would second that. I think we have to take a look at them. I mean, it's not a big part of our budget, but whether it's really the core essential of what our purpose as a county is to fund these other agencies. One differentiation which I know you agree with, but I'm going to call out, is some of these funds, like the opiate funds, can only be used for certain things, so those have to be used for some of these. Some of the things that concern me more is some of the nonprofits coming in, but also even some districts that have their own ability to raise funds through taxing coming in for us to supplement for a county-wide, for a district that's actually smaller than the county, and whether that's an appropriate thing to do. I've been an advocate on some of these smaller districts that if they have a special project, that maybe we should help, but I'm not sure we should be part of their overall just annual operating budget.
And I'd agree with that. And we have it listed 3 different ways within our outside agency, which is the first one is the one that comes strictly out of general. The second one is our libraries that receives the levy. The third one, as you mentioned, the opioid. I think to be responsible, we should even take a look at some of these opioid as well. We funded $95,000 last year. We're going to be bringing in $52,000 in that fund. So I think it's at some point that's going to run out, and then we're going to have to look at these agencies and say, hey, the fund is gone.
Right. Whether we wean them slowly down and reduce.
So I just want to take a look at all of them and take a serious look at all 3 categories of it.
No, I was just gonna say, I mean, I just grilled Pat about $1,000 on one of his light items. You know what I mean? So I think it's fair that we go ahead.
I was just gonna say, on the libraries, is that the levy amount, or is that that's more than?
Am I on? We're projecting 42,558 to be collected for 25, pay 26, and the request is.
59,380.
I got to get over there. Yep, 59,380.
And they asked 54.7 last year. Or what we gave last year is 54.7.
Yeah, and that is something in years past I haven't the last couple of years. Whether the levy should be is what's whether we should stop at the levy.
And did Faith not ask for money this year?
They did not send any additional requests for funding.
But they haven't asked for.
They never ask.
Oh, okay.
They have never asked. We've just always included it.
Well, which we levy on them too. They should get some.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything else on this budget? Like I said, the lion's share of the work is going to be. Well, we have to have a budget passed next meeting, which is the 23rd, or call a special meeting. State statute mandates that we have a budget passed by October 1st. So, and like I say, we quite a ways ahead from where we've been in the past. We've got the provisional. We've done a lot of work on the provisional.
I do have some questions for Rhea on the budget. So on the projected revenues, Fund 721, 735. What are those for? There wasn't money in them last year, but there's money this
Can
year.
you give me a page, Rich?
Yes, it is page 9 of 14.
The fines and forfeits, 721.
Yes.
That would be money that somehow comes through the court system in the form of fines. I guess I'm not positive. I can't give you a direct answer as to
Because we didn't have it last year, and we had it this year, it looks like.
But it goes into school district funds, Fund 721. It would be, so it wouldn't technically be our revenue.
It's not our revenue, it's their revenue.
It's somewhere that we have to put cash, is what I would assume. It's Fund 721, school district funds is how it's titled.
Probably, it's likely a pass-through account since we don't have any budget there. It's money that comes in that we in turn
Okay.
pass back out
So it'd go
through the
into that,
apportioning process.
Okay.
and then we'd write a check out of that, is what I would assume.
Medical Flex Fund was one that I didn't understand.
Oh, that's when people have
That's
money
the Flex
taken.
accounts
Yeah.
going in and out, okay. So we pay for it, or they pay for it, it's just a pass-through.
And that's been
Mhm.
closed. That's a done deal.
Okay. If I have any more questions. You know, on the planning side, if we've moved to Arc Pro, have you guys moved?
Not moved to Arc Pro yet.
Is there a plan to? Is
We are in the talks of that, yes.
that a budgeted cost?
We'd have to ask Tanya if it's in her 26 budget.
Okay. I don't know if there's training involved with that one. It is different, but I know they're phasing out ArcGIS.
Yes, they are. Which is a big concern for us because that's how all of our ag land adjustments are currently done.
That's all on my question.
Any other questions, comments? Hearing none, seems pretty quiet.
I think I asked this last time, but the library levy is at its max.
Yes.
We maxed it last year, and we proposed in the provisional to max it. And that would be another thing from that we discovered this week. If we choose our general, we could add the point 0.6. You guys got an email Friday from Maria.
Well, you could choose to add an additional 72,652 into the general fund if you opted to.
Or we could bank it. But we have 0.6 available. Not 100% sure.
It goes back to about 2017, and the whole discussions this year, they came up with a different number than we had, and we've been working on this since July 18th.
Yeah, DOR says this is. That's why we're. No, we took everything. On our provisional, we proposed to take everything we had. DOR, we've been in contact with DOR last month and a half. We've been going back and forth with different numbers that they say we have, and we refute. And they've been good to work with. But then they said, okay, this is from what we can see. You guys still have. They agreed with our general numbers. Disagreed a little bit with our secondary road numbers. $750 won't amount to much. But also said we had 0.6 and that we have banked that
they weren't accounting
still out
for
there,
previously.
that we can either bank or use. And then you did get confirmation on the numbers are correct this morning. Is that correct? So we can go forward. We had that last year too. So anyway, that's something we can look at possibly doing, bank it or use it. Revenue. Yeah. Yes, if any other questions, comments? Otherwise, I'm going to adjourn this meeting. Okay. Then I just declare us adjourned. Thank you, guys.